barbershop conversation, guys. Feel free. Hit the subscribe button. Hit the subscribe button. Don't forget to hit the Patreon, man. Join the Patreon. I'm actually doing a remodel right now. I'm about to upload today's video as well. So I just want to say thank you in advance. And let's jump into this, man. Errol Spence retweets a tweet, which I think is very powerful, man. I think it's very important. And the tweet that he reposted, let me go to it. Um, in my humble opinion, it's important because Errol Spence has a lot of validity. What is he? 25-0, 21 KOs, a unified, undefeated welterweight champion of the world, which is arguably the most prestigious. It's like playing wide receiver in the NFL. That's what the welterweight division is. You know what I'm saying? It's like being a small forward on the NBA basketball team. It's you can have the best players in the world, but the wide receiver always is like the glamorous spot, small forward, glamorous spot. You know what I mean? But Errol Spence retweets a tweet from um, Marshall. His name is Marshall. And it says that damn, I lost the tweet. Basically, he should be brought up on charges. And what he done, what was illegal. And I admire Errol Spence for taking that stance, man. It's in this day and age, it's so easy for great fighters that got more money than quite possibly many of us will ever see in our lifetime. He's very comfortable. I just saw his stories. He's in Jamaica running. I just saw him running in Jamaica on his stories, spending time with his daughters and his family on the acreage, which we spoke about in our last extended interview. Um, you know, I just want to tell him thank you. I appreciate you. You could have been on vacation and pretended like this shit didn't exist. And so for that, I thank him. I thank Steve Cunningham. I thank Charles Martin, and all the future fighters that are going to speak out on this subject, because it's a very important subject. Because um, if you're in your prime now, right, you're going to hit 33, 34, 35 at some point in your career, and you're going to be in the blue corner. I believe the blue corner is I'm drawing a blank right now, but the blue corner is the underdog corner, right? And you're not going to get the calls. You understand? You're not going to get the best player calls like LeBron James get, like Tyson Fury gets, um, and you're going to need a little bit of help. But more importantly, you want an even playing field. And the only way you can get an even playing field is if you fight for injustices like this, because the butterfly effect is real. The collateral damage is real. If Tyson Fury gets away with this, there's going to be a new Inoue. I'm not accusing Inoue, forgive me, but I'm using the name because he's hot. There's going to be an Inoue coming from Asia. They're going to be the next Triple H, Triple G, Triple H coming from Kazakhstan. The next whoever he is coming from an odd country, with taking the boxing world by storm because he has a competitive advantage. And what we want to do is eliminate the illegal competitive advantage. And I think the more voices and the more hands and the more retweets and the more the more people we have in position of power and position of influence, the louder the drum beats. So I'm incredibly re-inspired tonight. Coincidentally, I just looked at my screen. I got Errol Spence poster. That's from his fight September 28th. Henry Armstrong on the other side. You know, and I got some giveaways too. I'm gonna give away some posters that I have too that I'm not gonna use because they're Mexican fighters. So I'm not gonna put no Mexican fighters up in my office. Or white fighters. I'll put an Asian fighter up in this motherfucker. I got mixed kids, but outside of that, anyways, man, I love you digress and go back on subject. I'll just speak from a realistic perspective. And you guys got to understand how these fighters think, right? I'm going to use me and assume that I'm going to assume that there's a parallel. Okay. It may or may not be true. Right. But you got to let's take my life into account. Right. Rich, successful people don't have to stand on the front line because they can financially and or use their resources to manipulate situations to make their life comfortable. Right. Use me, for example. Every local politician personally calls me and say, "Hey, Fred, can we?" Because I have lots of property. "Hey, Fred, do you mind?" Um, and even when their assistant call, their secretary or whatever they call them, I say, "Well, have him or her call me." They call me and say, "Fred, hey, can we put signs on your buildings?" Uh, and two, can you convince your or ask your can you let's use the term campaign. Can you campaign for us and talk to your tenants about voting, which was this past Tuesday? So that's using resources. So you see the advantages that successful people have. They don't have to stand on the front line. It's like tax codes. I don't have to worry about tax codes because I can open up a new nonprofit. You know what I mean? I can dump money into a new business that's failing. I know how to cut my costs. I know how to change my bottom line and get the results that I want. You understand what I'm saying? So when any person of influence fights a battle on the front line, I'm not saying that you give them a louder round of applause because everyone has their own demons, everyone has their own assets, and everyone has their own life. But you should applaud for them as equal as you would applaud someone who has working class type of um, money and influence. A community organizer who grew to be two-time president of America. So I'm just talking about where you're at right now. I'm not saying you can't grow into becoming that, but I'm just saying that it's it's pretty cool when you see people like Errol Spence speaking up about this or retweeting about this because he doesn't have to. He really doesn't. And I hope that more and more people come out speak up. And I'm gonna ask these fighters what's their opinion on this. You know, I don't want to hear like, "Oh, I'm an American." I don't want to hear, man, this and that, man. I want to hear, man, in addition to the black man being treated wrong, the integrity of the sport of boxing. A lot of black people always hide behind the tag American. A lot of black people hide behind the term equality. I don't really care for that too much. I think when you have a stance, I was just listening to um, well, I'm not done with it yet. It's a 3 hour and 40-minute speech, but I'm actually listening to it in my free time. Um, Louis Farrakhan's keynote at Savior's Day, and he speaks so eloquently about that. Have a stance, man, and it's okay to have a stance as a man wanting greatness for your black people, for your culture. It doesn't mean that you dislike them. You understand? It's like I train in the gym. Like I can guarantee you a bunch of people got mad because I said I'm not going to put no Mexican fighter on my wall, right? But I train in the Mexican gym every day, and all they have is Mexican flags and Mexican fighters on their posters. They don't have a black and a black fighter. They don't. They got a real life poster of Canelo and everyone else, but they don't have a real life poster of nobody black. So they purposely enchanted uh, their gym littered with Mexican fighters. And when I walk in the gym, I think nothing of it because it's a Mexican run business and I support them. I pay my fees and I support the fighters growing up through the ranks in their gym. But as I digress, thank you, Earl. I think this is cool. I think this is pretty cool that you did this. I was just having a conversation on Ticket TV's channel that your parents should be proud of you. Like for real. I hope and pray because my son is going to be a really rich man. He's going to grow into being a just based off of what I do, not based off of what he does. All he has to do is just replace me and run the business. You understand? And his mom is a doctor and a partner, and um, she's going to come from a great financial state, and I'm going to come from. And I hope that when I'm 70 years old, my son, I'm 45, 42, so I'm 37 years different. So when my son is 20 and I'm 57, when my son is 30 and I'm 67, I hope to God that when these issues come up, he has the audacity, and you guys should go read that book, The Audacity of Hope by President Obama. Is very inspiring. Um, the audacity to stand on the front line for the betterment of, well, he's multicultural, Japanese, Chinese, and Black. And I hope that he has the courage to do so, you know. Uh, and that's one of my biggest wishes, man. That my son and my daughter have great character and integrity. I just hope and pray. I mean, that genuinely means a lot to me. And when I see men like Deontay Wilder and Errol Spence, it's easy to root for them. It's easy to shun a blind eye when they do something that's greatly terrible. It's easy to say, I don't give a fuck. I don't care. Because of what they stand for inherently in their spirit. Um, so I think that's pretty cool. You understand what I'm saying? So, anyways, man, keep the wheels turning. I'm gonna post a letter. Oh shit, we go live in 10 minutes. So I'm gonna post a letter in my community page that we're gonna send to the Nevada Athletic State Commission. And I hope and pray that you guys follow suit and copy and paste the letter and send it to the email. And they're going to send back a BS email, but we need them to know that we have great numbers. So, anyways, man, barbershop conversation. I'm about to. I lost track of time. We're going live in 10 minutes. So, barbershop conversations. Feel free, hit the subscribe button, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Peace.